Today's video is sponsored by Forever Pick. Each guitar pick is handmade by Luthier Robert S. Paul in Chicago, Illinois. Enjoy a rainbow of tone when you take advantage of 25% off by clicking the link in today's show notes.
Hey y'all, it's Shitpost Friday.
Hola, good people. Brad the Guitologist here. It is time for Shitpost Friday. I've had a lot of new subscribers this past month, and if you guys don't know what Shitpost Friday is, if you've stumbled upon this for the first time, Shitpost Friday is just my way of cramming a bunch of crap in one video at the end of the week. So hopefully the rest of the week can have more concise videos. We also do a lot of news, a lot of other little things that will recur. The more you watch them, probably the more you're going to get into them. So welcome all the new subscribers. First to the news, I wanted to talk about a couple of things that have been going on. The first thing that I saw that was very interesting to me was the story of the Cannibal Corpse guitar player.
A death metal guitarist remains in jail this afternoon. Deputies arrested him for breaking into a neighbor's home in the Northdale section of Hillsborough County. At the same time, his own home burned down.
Now, a neighbor gave us this video which shows O'Brien's rental home on Norwood Drive engulfed in flames. During the fire, neighbors heard explosions coming from the home. They tell me he possibly had flamethrowers inside. Then deputies explained how O'Brien broke into a nearby home and shoved a woman inside. Deputies took him down using a taser after he apparently charged at them with a knife. O'Brien is part of the death metal group Cannibal Corpse and is considered one of the best death metal guitarists in the country.
Pat O'Brien, who was arrested because his house was engulfed in flames and police and firefighters arrived at his house, and then they also got a call from a neighbor who said that someone had broken into their house, pushed someone to the ground, and was brandishing a knife. He actually had gone out back of their house and was hiding in the bushes or something when police arrived, and then he comes out of the bushes with a knife in his hand, like trying to attack the cops, and they had to taser him to get him under control. Just a crazy bunch of crap. And then to boot, the firefighters over at his house fire, I guess next door or whatever, were having trouble getting his house fire under control because there were explosions going off. Apparently had a bunch of ammunition inside and stuff was just exploding. So they had to wait back and his house just apparently burned to the ground. And also, I read somewhere that in the wreckage they found evidence of like flamethrowers and some other, I guess, military grade equipment in his house. So I don't know what was up with this dude, man, or what kind of drugs he was on, or what the deal was. I used to listen to a lot of Cannibal Corpse when I was a teenager. You know, it's one of the bands that I sort of got into around the time I was probably 14 to 16, 17 years old, kind of around that age. 1994's The Bleeding was the last album of theirs that I think I bought and listened to quite a lot, and some good guitar work on there. Just a lot of really intricate riffs and that sort of thing. And of course, if you go down the track list, you'll see some stuff that obviously came before the Me Too movement. It's usually all in good fun. The Cannibal Corpse stuff, you kind of have to take it with a grain of salt. You kind of have to take it from the perspective of you're watching or you're listening to a horror movie or something like that. You know, like it's Texas Chainsaw Massacre in music form, more or less. So as that, you know, Cannibal Corpse, it is what it is. It's a form of entertainment, and it's not to be taken seriously, but certainly these charges that this dude is going to be facing are going to be serious. He could be facing up to life in prison. So, also in the news, I noticed this story where the estate of the late Prince is filing suit against the maker of his famous cloud guitar.
The local creator of one of Prince's most iconic guitars is fighting to keep his design.
Dave Roussan built the singer's cloud guitar for the movie Purple Rain, and since then he has made replicas for fans all over the world.
I work hard at it. I do my best.
Dave Roussan knows a thing or two about guitars. He's been repairing them for nearly 4 decades. But in the 80s, he got a unique request when an artist named Prince stopped in his shop in Minneapolis.
And he said that Prince is going to make a movie. And I remember thinking, geez, he's going to make a movie. Oh, wow. And he needs a guitar built for the movie, and you're going to make it.
That movie, Purple Rain, would of course become a smash hit. And the guitar Roussan created would later be known as the Cloud Guitar. When Prince died in 2016, Ruslan saw a surge of people wanting him to build replicas of the guitar, so he got it trademarked in February. He says he then received a letter from Paisley Park asking him to give it up.
Well, I feel it's kind of a David and Goliath thing. I'm all alone here trying to make these for fans and enjoy doing it.
Ruslan says the guitars are not only a joy, but a livelihood. He makes around $8,000 a pop. He says he hopes it doesn't come to a legal battle.
It's like my legacy. It would feel real bad, yeah.
Now, I'm not sure exactly, you know, what hand Prince had in the creation or the design of the guitar. I guess that's going to be up to a judge to decide all of that. But yeah, the estate is actually suing this guy because he started building these guitars again. He whenever Prince died, he actually took a trademark out on the shape of the guitar. As the owner of a trademark, I've got to believe he's got some rights to this, unless Prince somehow trademarked it in the past, and maybe that'll all be dragged out in court. But I just thought it was interesting that his estate was going to sue this guy because he's making reproductions of this guitar. I guess they want their cut at the end of the day. They seem like they're going to probably exploit his estate for just about all it's worth. I think they've actually put one of his songs, "Let's Go Crazy," if I'm not mistaken, was in a Visa commercial or something. I'm pretty sure it was a credit card commercial. It's like, let's go crazy with credit. So, I don't think that's what Prince really had in mind whenever he wrote the song "Let's Go Crazy," but apparently his estate has no shame. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see how that lawsuit pans out. Also, another interesting lawsuit over a guitar design in the news recently. The man who claimed to have designed the original Dean from Hell guitar that Dimebag Darrell played really early in his career and really throughout his career. That's the one that's blue and black with all the lightning going on. He is suing the estate of Dimebag Darrell and also Dean Guitars, or he was suing them, but the estate and Dean won their lawsuit against this guy, Buddy Blaze. You've probably heard of him. He apparently, the way that they won this suit is they claim that Buddy Blaze did not himself come up with the artwork that's on the guitar, and that was actually the thing that was in question, was the artwork itself. The black and blue color scheme with the lightning bolts going over the guitar. He claimed to have owned the trademark on that color scheme, but the estate and Dean argued that he actually hired out the artist who did it, and the artist who did it had turned over exclusive rights to the estate and to Dean at some point. So very interesting that you have two iconically shaped guitars from iconic dead rock guitar heroes in the news at the same time. Speaking of iconic heavy metal rock guitar gods, K.K. Downing's guitar has auctioned for $189,000. This is the 1967 Flying V that he used on a lot of their early classic albums. Actually, throughout their career, I believe most of the stuff was played on this guitar. So definitely an iconic guitar if you are a heavy metal fan, if you're into New Wabum, that's a new wave of British heavy metal. If you're into metal in general, Judas Priest is really at the pinnacle of heavy metal. So that's definitely one to own. But I mean, at a price tag that's almost equal to what I paid for my house, somebody really had to be flush to own this guitar. Moving right along through the news, the new inductees of the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame for 2019 have been announced, and at the top of the list sort of is Radiohead. The big names that made it on the performer side were The Cure, Def Leppard. I've talked about Def Leppard before and why they weren't in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, so it's good I guess they made it in. As much as you care about the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, which personally I don't believe that rock and roll needs gatekeepers. I don't think it needs a Hall of Fame. I don't think it needs crap like this. If you really want to rock out, then just go rock out and throw your finger up at the establishment like the man behind me, and you're going to be just fine. But Stevie Nicks, Radiohead, of course, Roxy Music, The Zombies, and Janet Jackson, of all people, have made it in. Continuing with their history of being snubbed, you've got the likes of Whitney Houston, who I can't believe didn't make it in before Janet Jackson. That's just, to me, is crazy. You can still argue whether or not she's even rock and roll, but if we're accepting the likes of Janet Jackson, I think I would have to believe Whitney Houston would make it in before Janet Jackson, but no. You've also got T-Rex, who are still being snubbed by the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, which I cannot understand why. For the life of me, T-Rex, great band. They deserve to be in for sure. You've got Iron Maiden, who, you know, whether they got like 16, 17 albums in their career, they're still rocking in their 60s, packing stadiums. Somehow Iron Maiden is not in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. I have no idea why. Sonic Youth is still being snubbed by the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. 9 Inch Nails. The Pixies, who are influential on a lot of bands. So yeah, you've got a lot of artists who are deserving to be in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame who are not yet in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Nick Drake on the singer-songwriter side. You've also got John Prine is not in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, which is just unbelievable. Again, yeah, why do we even care at the end of the day? Because these people are just, fuck them. Another interesting bit of news that I saw, of course, you know, recently Gibson emerged from bankruptcy, and, you know, they've got new people running the company and everything, and one of the moves that they've made to eliminate some debt and to consolidate their production, they have closed down the Memphis operation altogether. They're going to move all Memphis operations over to Nashville. I don't know if they're going to put them under the same roof. I don't know if they're going to put them in a different building somewhere in Nashville, or what they're going to do with the hollow body electric guitar production, which is what was being made in Memphis, but they are moving that operation, and it kind of was foreseeable because they had closed a while back. I had reported on this. They closed the space that they were renting in Memphis, and I think the last I heard, like FedEx or somebody was going to move into that building. So probably a good move, I would have to say. Not a good move from the perspective of the people of Memphis, but it's got to be a good move for Gibson, because to have all that production spread out like that, and to sort of have the nightmare of, you know, distribution and everything that goes along with that, makes a hell of a lot more sense to have all your stuff in one location, it seems to me, but what do I know? And finally, to round out the news, this to me is kind of sad. Lee Kerslake, who has drummed on a lot of iconic albums, a lot of classic rock albums, including Uriah Heep, and Ozzy Osbourne. He played on some of the early Ozzy records like Blizzard of Oz and Diary of a Madman. He is now terminally ill, and he had been in some legal disputes with Ozzy and Sharon Osbourne in the late 1990s. He lost his legal dispute at the time, and pretty much went bankrupt because of it. According to this article from Rolling Stone, he's asking that Ozzy and Sharon give him the platinum album certification records that he was due for Blizzard of Oz and Diary of a Madman. He kind of says that this is one of the things that was on his bucket list. He wanted to get done before he died, and if indeed he is due those records, you know, Ozzy and Sharon, please do the right thing. Don't stiff this guy. You know, all you guys are getting too old to hold grudges, and apparently he's left his grudges behind, so, you know, you guys should really do the same. Cough up a couple of records for this guy and let him die in peace. All right, so that's going to conclude the news. I've got a lot of other stuff I could get into here. One of the things that you guys sort of wanted to see was, you wanted to see me use these things. These are, they were supposed to be picks, but they also went on your fretting hand to help prevent calluses, like if you're starting out playing guitar. I never tried them on my fretting hand. I made a video Thursday about these things, and it's got a pretty healthy response, but you guys wanted to see me try to pick with them. So let's do that now. Let's put them on my picking hand here and see if we can't make some sound happen with these as picks. Now, I do not believe that they were trying to market these as picks. I think, just according to the pictures that I saw, they were trying to market these things as you know, fingertip protectors, so that, you know, if you were starting out and didn't have calluses, that you could still try to play guitar. Or, you know, a lot of people with partial amputations on their fingers or other problems, burns or whatnot, could play guitar without pain. These might be good for that. But we're going to try it and see how it works when we pick with these things on our picking hand. So let's do that. Okay, so most of you guys who watch my channel, you know that I kind of pick with my fingers a lot. So this should be interesting to see if this is going to help or hinder me. I'm sure it's going to be more of a hindrance than a help. But let's see how much of a hindrance this actually ends up being. Now these do have these little slots in them so that I can still sort of get my fingernails out of these slots. I don't know if you can see that or not. It's probably out of focus, but so I might still be able to pick with my fingernail on a couple of these. Yeah, this is impossible. This is silly. Okay, hang on. Okay, so that right there is more difficult for sure. That's a little thing I do, like to kind of simulate a rake, you know, because a lot of times in blues you'll do the, you know, you'll do a rake before a bend or something like that, and it's just a bluesy kind of a thing to do. But just kind of simulate that, a lot of times I'll do like I will hit a dead note with one finger right before doing a bend or something. So I'll go. So it simulates that raking effect. I don't know why I do. I just kind of do it naturally. It just comes out. But that's very difficult with these on. Everything, actually, this is not as difficult as I had expected it to be. I'm going to stand up for a second so you can actually see what I'm doing here. But yeah, for as finger picks though, this is not something I would ever want to put on my fingers. This is it's very awkward. It just feels like I've got big blobs of tape or something on my fingers. And now I will say, like, if you use just this one, like on your index finger, like to simulate, you know, because a lot of times I will actually tuck in my index finger nail and I will use it as a pick. So I'll pretend I'm holding a pick, but I'm not, and I can still do like. I can still even get like pick squeals and stuff, even though I'm not holding a pick. But yeah, this is just really getting kind of stuck, and I don't know how I feel about that. I don't really like that. But one thing I was curious about though, I did have a fellow a while back send me some stuff that's a picker's grip. I was kind of curious if these would help you hold on to a pick, like, you know, picker's grip, like if it would be a substitute for that. And I can already tell this is not gonna be fun. Yeah, see, what happens is if you try to do any kind of strums or anything like that, this side of your index finger is just getting hung up on the strings. This keeps getting hung up right here. So no, I would say absolutely not. Not good for picking, and I think these things are really meant for what was in the actual photograph on the website, which is on this hand, to try to keep your calluses, or to keep your fingers from hurting while you're learning to play or whatever. As finger picks, they're absolutely useless. Even more useless than they are on this hand, believe it or not. At least for me. Alright, so that's about enough of that. Last week I made a video showing off the new Native Sons Goods strap that was sent to me by this company, who are one of my current sponsors. They have sent me one in the past as well, and we took a look at both of these. Just absolutely gorgeous straps. These are the best woven straps that money can buy, I guarantee you. So we had a lot of people participate in the contest and tell me their saddest country song story. And a lot of them were pretty funny. Some of them were pretty sad also, but we have a couple of winners here. One of you are going to win the strap of your choice. The other one is going to win a consolation prize of a Native Sons Goods t-shirt. And the winner is, it looks like, drum roll, William C. William C., you have won your choice of a Native Sons Goods strap. And it looks like the strap that you chose was the Billy, which I guess that's your name, Billy. So congratulations, William. Shoot me an email. Let me know your address. I will put my email address down here so you can contact me. I will forward your information along to Brandy over at Native Sons Goods. Yeah, enjoy your strap. The winner of the consolation prize of the Native Sons Goods t-shirt is Charlie Wright. Good job, Charlie. You convinced 14 people to like your sad, sad country song story. You have won yourself a Native Sons Goods t-shirt. So congratulations to you as well. Also, hit me up with an email down below and I will forward your information along to Brandy. So thanks to everybody who participated. If you did not participate or you missed the video or you still want to check out Native Sons Goods straps, I encourage you highly to go over to their website and check them out. Like I said, the absolute best made woven straps in the entire world. Alright guys, that's going to conclude this week's Shitpost Friday here on Channel 1. I have a lot of ideas and I may sit here and film a bunch of other segments, and we may do a second one over on Channel 2 sometime this weekend, so stay tuned for that possibility. I also want to say thanks to my sponsor Forever Pick for sponsoring these Shitpost Friday videos. As always, thank you so much guys at Forever Pick. Rob, you guys are awesome. Please do support and check out all my sponsors, and for now, y'all take care.